Hey gang, what's up? Welcome back here to another edition of Intuitive Angling, and thank you very much for making a little time to check today's video out. Much appreciated. Guys, today we're going to be talking about if eyes on lures make any difference or not. You know, if they help you catch more fish, if they don't. I've got some opinions on this that I've sort of formed over years of using lures with eyes and without them, so I'm going to share that with you guys here, and I think it might be interesting conversation. Real quick, guys, I just want to remind everybody out there, you guys know that here in the channel we work with Bait Works and Boat Works here in Springfield, Missouri. If you guys are looking for any tackle whatsoever, fishing rods, reels, tackle, whatever, boats, motors, they are just such great people to work with. And I'll put the Bait Works and Boat Works link in the description there, and you guys can check them out there. So much appreciated. Okay guys, eyes on baits. Man, this is the thing about eyes on lures. It's like ever since lures have been made, there's been some type of attempt to put eyes on them, because most prey that a predator fish feeds on has eyes on it. So it only makes sense to have eyes on a lure to make it look a little bit more realistically. So the point of this is the eyes have really evolved over the years as far as what they did. Years ago people just painted eyes on it. And then you had the stick-on eyes, and then you had some really high-tech eyes, like it's on this Megabass Kanata here, that's sort of like a looks lifelike, looks just like a reel. And actually, the eye on the Megabass lures, they're purposely pointed down because they're thinking, if you're fishing like a jerkbait or something, and a fish is coming up to attack it from underneath, that they're looking down at it and they're trying to see the fish. So, a little interesting tidbit there. But anyway, do you need eyes on lures? And I'll sort of tell you what I've seen on this. A lot of it from my experience, I haven't done scientific studies and data and really paid a lot of close attention to it as far as to get reproducible results. But I have noticed a little bit of things as far as the productivity of it. And one of the things that I found out is that eyes are far more important on a bait that has a couple different characteristics. Number one, it's a slower bait, and number two, it's a visual lure. Some type of lure that the fish study, and therefore your reaction type baits a lot of times it may not be quite as big of a deal. Now, for example, let's take a jerkbait for example. What are you doing there?
I'm just going outside.
Okay, we'll see you later. Okay, take for example, a jerkbait here. Now, jerkbait is a reaction lure, but it also is a visual sight lure, because like if you jerk a jerkbait down and pause it, the fish can actually come up and study that bait, and maybe the eyes make a difference. If you figure that this jerkbait is like barely moving or twitching or pausing, and that bass is all hot on it and it's studying it, and it sees that eye on there, maybe that eye is just enough to make the fish react to that bait like they think it's something that's real, and they bite it. Now, if you're fishing something like say a vibrating crankbait, a lipless crankbait, where you're reeling it through the water column pretty fast, or if you're fishing a spinnerbait or something like that, I don't think it makes much difference. I don't think the fish they don't have time to really study or think about if it has eyes or not. Another thing with it is I've noticed on some of my swim baits before, my soft plastic swim baits, were the ones that you reel through the water column a little bit at a pretty steady rate. For example, like the Mag Draft or any other swim bait like that, if the eyes come off on it, I still catch as many fish on it. I haven't noticed that the eye is making any difference about not getting bit, as much as if they have eyes on it. So from my standpoint, I think it's sort of like scent a lot of times. A lot of people have theories and thoughts about if scent makes that big of a difference. I think that eyes, as well as scent, it's more of a confidence factor for the anglers. It's more of a cosmetic thing out there. Now, for example, if I took these eyes off of the Megabass jerkbait here and there was no eyes on it, I really probably don't think it makes that much difference. But what I'm saying is, say for example, you're fishing this type of a lure category, and you have 100 bass get close to this thing that get ready to strike it. I'm guessing, it's just my theory, I don't have anything to back this up on, but it's just sort of something that makes sense to me. If you have eyes that look realistic on a bait where a fish is studying it, I think that out of 100 bass that get close to your lure, maybe it adds 3 or 4 more bass that actually bite the lure that would not if the eyes were not there. That's just sort of what I've seen a little bit just in some informal studies with that. So I don't really, get that upset if the eyes fall off my lures or if they're not quite as pronounced. Although I do like them on there. Like I said, on my crankbaits a lot of times if the eyes fall off, I'll take a red fingernail polish and I'll make a little eye. I just think that it gives me a little bit more confidence and it just makes a little bit more sense. But some of the best lures that I've ever had as far as the amount of fish I've caught on them, they're so beat up and the eyes have fell off them and you still catch fish on them. So a lot of it probably has to do with more of the frequency and the vibration and the profile of the lure than having eyes on it. So overall, just as a discussion viewpoint here, no, I don't think eyes are that big of a deal on a lure. Do I think they help a little bit? Absolutely. I think they could help a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to really obsess on it as far as making sure that everything looks perfect with them, because I think there's other factors. Now, as far as we'll go back to the jerkbait again here. It's say for example, they fell off and then I took just some red fingernail polish and just made a little dot on there of eyes on there. I think it pretty much would be just as effective, but obviously we don't know. We can't get inside of a bass's mind and sort of see what they think about that, but interesting conversation. Obviously, it makes a big difference as far as in the fishing tackle world, as far as the putting eyes on lures, because it's one of the key design elements in lures is how the eye construction, the eye size, the eye color, what it looks like. And like I said, whether it catches fish or fishermen, that's a debate to be had there. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on it, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk later.